My name is Marquita Atkins, and I am the founder and executive director of Destination Innovation, Inc. And it's home to Camp Destination Innovation. Camp Destination Innovation is a camp geared towards teens, 14 to 18 years old, and it teaches entrepreneurship with an emphasis on what we call it STEAMed. So, the science, technology, engineering, arts, math, and the ED is entrepreneurship and discovery. The reason why I started this camp is when you go and you talk to young people and you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Typically, you hear the things that they were taught to say, which are all admirable jobs, but a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor. And I wanted to show young people that the world is their oyster. There are so many things that you can be, that you're limitless on your talents and your possibilities. And I kind of wanted to burst the bubble and show young people what's available to them across the board when it comes to employment and when it comes to entrepreneurship. So you see our first screen, it says, wanted innovators. We love innovators. We dare young people to dream and dream big and then execute. I do not believe in the sentence, what do I want to be when I grow up? I just ask young people, what do you want to be? Your dreams are available to you right now, unless you want to go to the military or smoke or drink, but those are not available to you right now. But healthy dreams, creating your own businesses, traveling, those things are available to you now. So why limit yourself, or why clip your wings and wait till you grow up? One of the things that I do want to say from the very beginning, this experience will be what you make it. I say that in every space that I come into with young people. There's that old school saying, young people, children should be seen and not heard. I don't believe in that. And in our house, young people are seen and they are heard. And if you look through anything that happened in history that is great, young people were the catalyst to those changes. So your voices, your innovation, your ideas are so important to me. So no, this is a space that you can speak up. This is a space where you do not need to be afraid. This is a space where you can ask as many questions as you want. And this is a space to be engaged. So I'm happy to be engaged with you. And I want to give a little shout out really quick. I feel like, I'm the presenter, but I see a star in our midst. So I'm going to call out Sanaya because I have bought your book before. I bought your books before in the past. And I see all the things that you do to keep yourself engaged and to stay on your business. So I wanted to give you a shout out and thank you for coming today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So our vision at Camp Destination Innovation, our vision is to cultivate the next generation of leaders with a proper accessibility, mindset, network, and resources to become successful entrepreneurs and leaders. We do this at the camp through building powerful relationships with the business community and the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Kansas. And as you'll hear from a little bit later, we have Nick Flores on the line. Nick has participated, or actually won, both our local Urban YEC Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge and the state Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge when he was, Nick, were you 16 then?
I think so. I think I was 16.
About 16 years old. He was our first winner of that competition. And he also participated in Camp Destination Innovation. And Nick is the truest reflection of what we want the camp to do, which is to show our young people that they have a community that is invested in them, that they have a community that they can be successful in, so that when they grow up and they start to chart out their own lives, number one, they have that mindset, they have those resources, and they have the network to start to be successful in whatever they choose to be. And number two, that they'll reinvest back into the community that's loved them so much. Too often, Wichita loses its talent. We cannot afford to lose you. And I will not clip your wings and tell you you cannot fly. But what I will tell you, in true Wichita terms, there is no place like home. So come back, build your roots, invest in your city, because as long as you're giving your talent to other cities, they will always be better than us because of you, because of people like you going and making those cities better. So imagine if we kept our talents here, what we can do for Wichita. So today we're going to learn about starting your own business. And I will tell you a little bit what Destination Innovation is, what we're home to. We're home to, of course, Camp Destination Innovation, which is a 4-week STEAM entrepreneurship program We're home to Wichita Urban YEC, which is the Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge. In everything that I do, I feel like young people should be invested in. So we have competitions and you win money in all of the programming I do across the board, or you are getting paid as as an intern. But you see Nick in that picture won $5,000 at the state competition. Locally, he won $1,250. And then that competition is happening right now. You can register up until Friday. And if any of you guys are interested, I'll extend the time a little bit more for you. And we are also home to the Kansas Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge, Virtual Entrepreneurship Challenge. We did this competition last year when COVID hit. We knew that we were not going to be able to have camp in person. And as with any entrepreneur, you have to have power and a pivot. You have to know how to pivot when life throws a monkey wrench in your goals or the things that you want to achieve. So our pivot was to host the first annual Kansas Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge. We had I only thought about 25 kids will participate. We had over 175 kids across the state of Kansas participate. And we did it from kindergarten all the way up to seniors in high schools, different divisions. And there were winners across the board, from Kansas City to little towns I've never heard of. It was a lot of fun, and I'll show you guys videos of some of the videos these kids did later. So at Camp Destination Innovation, we use the Willy Wonka principle. So how many of you guys have seen Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory? You can use your little emojis, or if you're not afraid, you can turn on the screens, or you can say yes. There you go. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, if you haven't seen it, is a story about a little boy that wins a golden ticket to go to this big chocolate factory. And he learns about the business, and he pays attention, and he stays focused. And at the end of Willy Wonka, he becomes the owner of the chocolate factory. And we apply this at Camp Destination Innovation. We always say, be Charlie, don't be a blueberry. And you know what happened to Violet in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? She didn't pay attention. She wanted to do her own thing. She didn't seize the opportunities, and she was rolled right out of the chocolate factory. So at Camp Destination Innovation, you hear kids yelling all the time, don't be a blueberry. We tell them golden tickets are every single person that we introduce you to, every experience that we give you, every field trip we go on is a golden ticket opportunity. You do not know who that person is that's going to open that door or be the key to get you to the next level. So when you're meeting these business people that we introduce you to, or just like the library setting up this event for you, this is a golden ticket opportunity. You don't know what kind of resource I can be for you to get you to the next level when it comes to your business, or if you have a letter of recommendation that you need to be written, or job opportunities that you want to see. So seize those golden tickets. Always ask a person for their business card. And if you are bold enough and you have a LinkedIn account, invite them or send them an invitation on your LinkedIn. A lot of our Camp DI youth have better LinkedIn accounts than I do because they seize their golden tickets while they're at Camp DI. So we have these sayings at Camp DI, and we have these shirts, never too young to be an entrepreneur. So I really want to emphasize to you guys, you are never too young to seek out your dreams and to be an entrepreneur. So the first thing that I'm going to start off with, and this might seem a little heavy, but there's a business model canvas. Now, how many of you guys make vision boards? Like every year you sit down and you cut out pictures on papers and you kind of talk about what you envision for yourself for the next year. This is kind of like a business person's vision board. And so you're going through and you're making sure that you know who your key partners are, who your network is, who your community is, who your investors, who are your key resources. What do you need to create value for your customer? What key activities do you need to be involved in to engage your customers? The value proposition, which means the products or services to meet your customers' needs. Customer relationships. What kind of relationship do you want to have with your customers? Do you want to be person to person? Do you want to go through a manufacturer to get to that person? There's all different kind of ways to have relationships with your customers. The different segments of customers. Who are you marketing this to? Which is the demographic or age demographic or race demographic? Who are you trying to reach, and what channels are you going to utilize to reach them? The cost, how much is going to cost to run your business, as well as how much are you going to price point your item or your services at? And then you also have to think about your revenue streams. How are you going to get funded for your business? How are you going to make money? These business model canvases are really, really easy to use. And you can go online, you can print one off. And as you think about what kind of business do I want to create, you can go in and fill this stuff out. I think the biggest thing when it comes to starting your own business that I tell young people, that mindset, you have to be fearless. And I'll use an example of when we took a field trip to Coke business and we went to visit their lab. And there was a machine in that building that encompassed the power of the sun. You literally can open up the little hatch, look inside of it, and see the energy, see the power in that machine. And I spoke to the kids and I said, imagine how this person was approaching people, telling them, I'm going to take the power of the sun and put it in the box. Imagine how people made fun of him. Imagine how people rejected them. Imagine how people said that it's not possible. But he stuck to it. He committed. And now he has a machine that encompasses the power of the sun. And on top of that, he did not sell them the license to that product. Well, he sold them the license, but he did not give them the blueprint on how he made it. So they have to rent that from him. And he makes a lot of money off of it. That is the type of mentality that you have to come into when you become a business owner. You have to be fearless. You have to let your freak flags fly. And you got to know that everybody's not going to believe in your dream and still push for it. I also think about God, I'm losing my language. You know, the little rubber band holder that has the material around it, a scrunchie. Imagine how the first person that invented the scrunchie, they took a rubber band and just put fabric around it. Imagine how people made fun of them. And now the scrunchie is a multi-billion-dollar business. It's so important that you know that your ideas, your hopes, your dreams, the things you think about in your head have value. You just have to assess the need for it, and you're going to have to assess how you're going to make a person a believer in you. The three things that I think about, and this is going to be short and sweet because we don't have that much time to work with, but the three things that I think about when we are thinking about starting our own business is, especially in the competitions that we host and youth entrepreneurs host, you have to have an executive summary. An executive summary is like your business plan. And it has your objective, your target market, products and services, your budget and funding, and how the plan will be implemented. Now, it seems like a lot to have an executive summary, and they're typically 1 to 3 pages, and they could be up to 10 pages. But I myself have seen business deals made on a napkin before. Literally have seen business deals written down on a napkin and a handshake, and people proceed with investing in and starting businesses. But this is just the professional way to present your ideas to investors and angel investors and people that want to invest in your business. Another thing is the power in your pitch. So you guys might not realize it, but right now I'm pitching to you guys. I'm trying to make you believe in Camp Destination Innovation. I'm trying to get you guys to see that there's a need for us to have this kind of programming when it comes to young people. And I'm trying to sell you on the idea of possibly coming to our camp this summer or participating in one of our competitions. This is the middle of a pitch. So you have to have power in your pitch. You have to be able to show your product. You have to be clear with your brand and what you need from it. You need to know your audience. So the way that I speak to you guys, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. The way that I speak to you guys is the same way that I would speak to businessmen, because having you value my business is just as important as a businessman or an investor value in the business. You need to be able to tell a relatable story, and you need to know your numbers. How much does it cost for you to invest in your product? How much do you need for your startup? How much do you need to, again, your price point, how much are you going to charge for your services or for the products that you're putting on market? Another thing that's really important, especially while you're young and you're starting a business, is to be engaged in trade shows. When you come to a trade show, or like just say if the world were open right now and we were having YEC in person, you would have a setup just like you see right here with Jessica. She has stuff that shows everything about her business, from her target audience to what her business is, to how the business will be implemented, and even example of a prototype of the item that she was selling. These are all the things that you need to bring to a trade show. What's really, really important in a trade show also is how you present yourself. Confidence is everything. I think the most important thing to remember when you're speaking to anybody about your dreams or anybody about your business, that nobody knows it better than you. Nobody, not a single soul. So if you mess up, there's no need to have a nervous breakdown. There's no need to stop, because nobody will know unless you show them that nobody will know unless you show them. So have confidence in your product. It belongs to you. It's an original, and nobody's going to know your business better than you. Be physically and mentally prepared for a trade show. Trade shows can last all day. I think when we host ours at YEC, it goes from 9 o'clock to 2:30, and you'll be speaking with all kinds of people, including the public and judges. So you have to be energized. You have to know that you might be standing for long periods of time, and bring some water and I always say bring water and mint, to make sure that your voice stays okay and that you can speak. I'm going to give you a little bit of the resources to help you get on track if you are interested in starting your own businesses, and these stand out to me. Of course, I'm going to promote Camp Destination Innovation. We're a one-stop shop for learning about how to start a business more in depth. Youth entrepreneurs. I think youth entrepreneurs typically are in high schools across the city. We partner with youth entrepreneurs a lot, but that is where you can get in the classroom knowledge on how to start your own business and what it takes to become a business person. Studentstartup.org. And this is a connection. I met him years ago when I went to Cope, but I was reintroduced to him again this year through Nick. And what studentstartup.org does is they actually help young people start their businesses. So just say you have a business that is mowing lawns, or you have a business that is a dog walker or a window cleaner. They partner with you and they get you clients. And they just take a small percentage, but they help you get clients and build up your clientele. SCORE mentors, and this one is really, really important to me. SCORE are retired businessmen and women who work for free to help people start their own businesses. So from your executive summary to your business plan to executing your business, SCORE will be there to have your back. One of the things that I carry with me is that there was a young man I met at an entrepreneurship task force meeting. He was 18 years old, and he created one little piece that goes on a tractor trailer. And what it did is that it aerated, or it made the water go out farther when people were doing stuff to their fields in farming. And I was so curious to ask him, how did he come up with that? And he told me Legos. When he was little, he liked to play with Legos. So he liked to put things together and take them apart. And in his shed on his parents' farm, he would go in the back and Legos. And so eventually he moved from playing with Legos to playing with machinery. And he came up with this piece. He met with SCORE, connected with a mentor at SCORE who was so deeply invested in what he created that they formed a business together. His part got sold to a local tractor trailer company here that was eventually bought out by John Deere. And when John Deere bought them out, they took his contract with them. He is a millionaire now. And that all manifested from him playing with Legos. That just blows my mind. And I'll also say Google. Google is your best friend. There are so many things that you can pull from Google. And I want to give you guys an example of some of the pitch competitions that we have hosted virtually. And so I'm going to show you a little video. Then I'm going to kick it over to Nick. And I'll only show a little bit.
Hi, it's Tiana Hardwell, the owner of Tiana Sweet Drop-Offs, the bakery that comes to you. Tiana Sweet Drop-Offs allows you to order for any occasion, birthdays, celebrations, or any holiday. Surprise your loved one with a special treat to their doorstep. You may also add a note letting them know how much they mean to you. I am committed to quality and professionalism. I have even completed food safety training. To place an order, contact 316-550-7561. I can't wait to be the bakery for you. I'm so excited.
I'm just going to show you a little bit, but I just love how, again, she's engaging. And that first 30 seconds is what we call an elevator pitch. So you get the first 30 seconds, you tell them who you are, what you do, and why your business is important to the community. Tiana won the People's Choice Award. And with that money, she opened up her first bank account. So she kept, I think she put 60% in the bank and kept a little bit for herself. And like now she's featured under the top 25 and 25, top 5 under 25, and she is social media famous. And I'll show you guys one more video. This is another young lady from our pitch competition, and it's just showing you a different view on entrepreneurship, or a different view on pitches, sorry.
Hello, my name is Gabby Pools. Do you like jerky? I know I do. This is why I decided to create my company, Jabby Jerky. The only thing I would change about this awesome snack is the cost, which is why I decided to learn how to make my own. My business is a food manufacturing company that makes only high-quality grass-fed beef jerky. To start my business, I will need $1,051 to pay for licensing, registration, production equipment, and first month costs. So,
and I just wanted to just reiterate, she went and told you what she needed. So when we were talking about money, when we were talking about the investment, she let you know within the first 30 seconds, her name, who she was, her business, what it does, and how much money she needed or what she needed from the investors. So that's so important when you're doing your pitch.
Let me tell you a little about my company. Last year, my dad showed me how to make different kinds of jerky by changing ingredients and using different woods for smoking. Then I experimented and made some of my own. This made me think of a new business idea where I can manufacture and sell jerky from my home here in Phillipsburg. There are quite a few jerky companies, so my company would have to compete by being different. I decided that the best way to do this would be to only use high-quality ingredients and to make my product by hand instead of mass-producing with a machine. Because I had a lot of questions about making and selling my product, I looked on the internet and found that food companies in Kansas must work with the Kansas Department of Agriculture. They told me that I must be licensed and registered as a food establishment before I can sell any jerky. I must also get a retail exemption inspection to sell directly to my customers. There are less rules and regulations if I do this than if I sell to wholesalers. So, this is how I will start my business. The name Jabby Jerky comes from a mix of my brother's name, James, and my name, Gabby. James helps me with the manufacturing and is excited to join the business when it grows too big for me to do on my own. To make my jerky, I grind lean, local beef and add my special seasonings and cure. I use a jerky press to make strips on a smoking rack. Once it has finished smoking, it is bagged and wrapped. Because I will start by only selling directly to my customer.
Now, and she won for her age division, or I think she came in either one if she won second place. The only critique that will come from this, because she's doing well, it's a great presentation. The only critique that we would get from the judges on this presentation, your presentation, you need to have like postcards to be a guide for you, but you don't want anything that you're reading directly off, because people will pay more attention to the paper than what they're paying attention to what's coming out of your mouth. So have your notes as a guide, but not to necessarily read off of.
I only need to show ingredients on my label. If my business gets bigger and I sell to wholesalers, I will have to show ingredients, nutritional facts, and a barcode. I estimate that in my first year, I will sell 1,048 sticks of jerky, which equals $3,657.52 in sales. My cost of goods sold is $1.48 per stick, and my selling price is $3.49. This gives me a profit margin of 57.68%, and with a monthly break-even of 25.7 sticks sold. I estimate that my sales will increase by 20% per year. But if my business grows and I start making additional products, my sales might increase by more than 20%. My 3-year projected income shows gross profit for $2,109.54 for 2020, $2,531.44 for 2021, and $3,037.73 for 2022.
What I loved about this part is that you have to have vision. And that's the reason why we say have a vision board. Every good business plans their business out in 1 year, like immediate increment. What's the immediate return you want? 2 years, up to 5 years, and some businesses up to 10 years. To me, in anything that you do in life, you have to be able to see your goals. I'm a visual person. I have to see my goals. And typically, if you can look a little bit more left to my kitchen wall, you will see big Post-it notes with all of my goals on them, because I'm visual. I need to see them. But you can see from 2018, I had a goal of my nonprofit becoming a year-round nonprofit. And this year, officially in April, we're merging with 2 other nonprofits that I created, or programmings that I created. They're coming under one umbrella. And so now we're going to be a hub for leadership and development, focused on entrepreneurship, economics, juvenile justice reform, and civic engagement. And it's a youth-adult partnership. So I feel like young people belong at the forefront. They plan too much of the future without having you guys sitting at the table. And so making sure that you guys are sitting at tables that you need to be sitting at, so we need to hear what kind of world you want. So again, it's so important to have vision when it comes to your organization. Again, know your numbers, and to be able to articulate to a room what you need from them and sell them the dream. I used to go into meetings when I used to pitch Camp DI and go, I'm gonna make a believer out of you. That was my mentality before I walked in those doors. I'm gonna make a believer out of you. And that's what you wanna do every time you pitch your business to somebody, make them a believer. And I wanna make sure that I give respect to Nick and his time. I'm gonna give one more thing. And this is an important factor of when you pitch your business and you talk or you give a presentation about your business. One of the most important things that you have to have and you should always leave with is a call to action. So this is a call to action. The ways that you can get involved: you can volunteer, donate, open up space to campers, or you can go to www.campdestinationinnovation.com. It'll show you how to get registered for any of the things that we have going on at Camp DI, or you can give us a call. And that is your call to action. And you want to make sure your call to action has your contact information on there. And that's one of the most important things when you do a pitch about your business, or even if you're just speaking about it, make sure you have a business card. Your call to action will be to leave them with your business card and get their business card. So if they don't follow up with you, you follow up with them. And I really, really thank you guys for your time. I want to kick it over to Nick, but before I do you guys have any questions for me? And again, this is a space where young people's voices are elevated. Do not be afraid. There's no such thing as a stupid question. And I'm really silly in real life, so we can be silly together. So just open it up if you have any questions for me before I kick it over to Nick.
I just wanted to say hi, Miss Marquita. And then the second thing I just want to say was, from personal experience from doing the camp, it
Wait
is
a minute,
probably
is
one of
that
the.
Max?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Max. Okay, I'll let you talk. That'll make my heart. I miss y'all.
I know. I've been looking forward to it this year, but the only thing I just want to say is that this camp is really amazing, and I've won the trade show for the past 2 years, I think.
2 years.
I just wanted to say this is such an amazing camp, and I've learned so much, and I think I've definitely found out what I want to do later in life. And you get so many connections, honestly, and there's nothing bad about it at all. It's like you get to not only meet new people, but you get to learn outside of school, and it's just like it's such a good experience, and it's totally worth the time.
Thank you so much, Max. I honestly believe that our young people are the best advocates, the best salespeople for this experience. So that you just made my heart swell up just big, just hearing your voice. So I'm sorry, you guys, I'm sensitive. I'll get all weepy because I miss these. I miss them. And Max, again, that YEC competition is happening again. So if you want to put together a video and a little business plan, let me know. It's $1,200 for this competition. It's $1,250 you can win. So keep that in mind.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll think about it.
Think about it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to Nick Flores, and you guys are going to give him admin. Yeah, right. And you'll be able to share your screen, Nick. Nick, again, has been part of Camp DI. He has won our YEC competitions. He has won the state level competition. And he's a businessman. He bought his first investment property just a couple of weeks or so before your 20th birthday.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and he was mentored by the network that he procured through Camp Destination Innovation. So I'll kick it over to you, Nick.
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the biggest things that I got out of doing that competition wasn't the money or the experience or the knowledge, but I actually work for one of the judges now. So, just like she said, give everybody your business card, get everyone's business card, stay in touch, follow up, because these people want to help you. It's kind of crazy to think about, but they are here to help. So I got his contact information. I was curious about real estate, which is what he does. He's one of the biggest commercial real estate developers here in the Midwest, I would say, if not the nation. But I have a story to tell about him as well. And let me kick this presentation on real quick. All right, can you please allow my screen sharing?
Yeah, give us just a second to get that sorted out.
Thank you. But I completely agree with everything that she said, and I even have my vision board right here. I keep it on my wall here at the office, and
okay, you should be good to go now.
Okay, perfect. These are all the business cards I collected, I think, in the past month. This whole, oh my goodness, they're just all over my desk. All right, give me 1 second. Max, I don't think we've met before, man. I think I must have left camp when you were first starting.
Yeah, I think I started back when I was in 8th grade. So I don't know. They used to tell stories about how good you were. So I think I missed you by like a year or two.
I think crossed paths. And the reason why you crossed paths, Nick, you were doing a summer program at YE. Max, you were, I think, doing track. And so I think it was during a year where you can only come on certain days for camp. And so you guys kind of
yeah, I remember
because you guys were both there the year that we made the shirts. You guys were both there that year.
Really?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I want to share some principles with you because I think that's more important than maybe actionable advice. So, I mean, if you follow these 4 things, I don't think there's anything stopping you. I mean, these are the building blocks. These are your foundation, and these are what even the most successful people, this is what they work on. So I want to talk about adding value to people's lives. I want to talk about building your reputation. I want to talk about educating yourself, and I want to talk about making connections. So I would highly recommend writing these down if you got paper in front of you, if you got your phone, because these are super important, super important. So these things actually work hand in hand. So when you make connections, then you have more people in your network that you can add value to. And if you have more people you can add value to, there's more education that you can get from those people. You can build your reputation by adding value to people. And then the more that you do all of those things, the more connections you make. So it's just a virtuous cycle. It keeps going around and around. And so you just need to focus on starting with one of these, and then it'll lead into all the rest of them. So you're actually going to build it up to make it look like this Jenga tower here. You start at the bottom and you keep on building up. So I want to tell you the story about who I work for now. I work for Mr. O'Borney. If you've ever heard of him, the company's Occidental Management. And this is one of the properties that he purchased just last year. So this is a really large property. You might be thinking, what does it take to actually do that? That can't be me. I'm never going to be able to do something like that. But what you can do is set your goal. If you have a goal, this was his goal, and then you work backwards from there. And so it takes a lot to get into something like that. And you think about it, you have to have a team around you, you have to have the knowledge, you have to have the reputation, and you have to have the money for it. And so he built up to those things through years and years of doing smaller deals that led him into that. So this is a little bit smaller deal. This is Union Station here in Wichita. And I can only imagine that he set his goal of buying something as big as this Sprint campus here. And he said, well, what do I have to do to get that goal? So I would recommend that you go set your goal and say, well, what do I have to do to get there? And you can plan backwards from there. And he said, well, I need to build my reputation and get some capital. So maybe I'll do a little bit smaller deal like this. Well, that's not very easy to do either. Well, how do you figure that out? Well, maybe you do something even smaller. So this is a strip center he bought about 20 years ago. He was actually in his 20s when he purchased that investment. So set your goal and then work backward from there and use these 4 principles in order to get you where you need to go. Oh, and even, I almost forgot to put the slide in. Even before he bought that property, he started out mowing lawns. So if you go back to the very first step, so if you were to make a how to buy the Spring Campus book, the very first chapter, the very first step would be go learn how to mow lawns. That's how he did it. Break it down all the way to the very first thing that you need to do. I actually heard a great story from somebody about how they were procrastinating. They wanted to sell their truck, but they didn't know how to do it. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know who to talk to. They didn't know how to clear the loan. So they said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to do the very first thing. And what is that? I'm going to go clean it. I'm going to go clean my truck and we'll figure it out from there. So he cleaned it. And then the next day he called the bank. How do I get this loan paid off? And he just kept making steps. So just like what Mr. Borney did, if you just take little steps every single day, you'll eventually get to whatever your goal is. So I want to spend some more time to talk more about these principles. We'll talk about adding value, making connections, building your reputation, and educating yourself. And these things are so easy to do in today's world with all the technology that we have. And so let's talk about making connections. You want to spend a third of your time talking to people that are ahead of you, who are who you want to be 20 years down the road. You're also going to want to talk to people that have the same goals and values as you that are in your peer group. So that's another third of your time. And then the last third of your time, you want to spend with people that you can help. And so just like these people 20 years ahead of you are going to help you out, you're going to go help other people. You're going to return the favor. And it's actually very easy to connect with people like this on Facebook. So you can do what I do. I post on Facebook the things that I care about, my goals, the people that I associate with, and that will naturally draw in other people that are similar to you. So Miss Atkins, I'm sure you can attest to this, where you put your goals and your vision and your dreams out there and other people are going to like it and they're going to comment on it and they're going to say, this is a great idea. And then you can go ahead and reach out to them and say, hey, if you think it's a great idea, let's see if we can work together on it. Are you interested in helping me out? Is there anything I can do for you? And that's how you get the conversation started. This is an amazing thing that was not around when our parents were growing up and the generation before them. So I can even give you some examples. I posted a picture of me with that investment property I purchased, and I got a bunch of people that commented. I reconnected with old friends from high school. How do you do this? How do you do it? What do I do to start? And now these people are my best friends because we have the same goals, we have the same vision, and we all, put in the time to get towards those goals, and we all help each other out. All right, so let's talk about adding value. So this is one of the most important things that you could do. So there are 4 things that people care about in their lives. And if you want to have anybody help you out with anything, you have to help them out as well. So people care about their health, their wealth, love, and the pursuit of happiness. So you're gonna make it your mission. If you wanna make connections with other human beings, you wanna make it your goal to help them with one of these things. And so this is for any relationship that could ever exist. If you're talking about a romantic relationship, I hope that there's the value of love in both directions, but maybe something like a patient going to the doctor. The doctor is going to help the patient out with their health, and in turn, the patient is going to help the doctor with their wealth. So it's the idea of building win-win relationships through adding value to other people. Instead of thinking, man, I need to make all this money, how can I go make money? You need to think first, what can I do for other people to where they're going to want to pay me for it? So that's step number 1, just changing your mindset about what that looks like. So education is another really big one. So what people don't know is that there are 2 types, very distinct types of education. There's what's called just in case education, or JIC, and then there's JIT education, or just in time. And so both of these are extremely important. So things like school, reading books, watching YouTube, and listening to podcasts, those all go under the JIC education. So you put all this knowledge into your brain, and it's just in case, maybe one day you're going to have to know the capital of this country, or you're going to have to know a certain fact, or information about biology or whatever it may be, but you're going to store these things in your brain for later. And then just in time education, if you need an answer for something right now, you want to be able to have quick access to it. So in school, they're going to teach you how to store information in your brain, but almost as, if not more important, is having access to information at any given time. And so the things that you can do for this just-in-time education, which a lot of people miss out on, obviously Google is at your fingertips, building your network, and also things like online forums. So for what I do, real estate investing, if I have any kind of question at all, I just go ahead and hit the online forums and I can ask that question. I'll have responses immediately. So I want to tell you a story that I had about a property that I was looking to purchase. So I know nothing, absolutely zero, about siding on residential properties. And this house needed siding done. So I said, man, I don't know anything at all, but who do I know who knows this? I have my network built around real estate. So there's got to be someone out there that can help me out. And so I went ahead and gave my buddy a call, who was an investor who I met through providing value to him. I said, hey, can you take a look at these pictures of this house real quick? I don't know what kind of siding I'm going to need. What types of siding are there out there? And he said, well, Nick, you can do vinyl siding, you can do wood siding, you can have them repaint it. So he told me what I needed, and I said, okay, thanks, man. And so I called another guy. Hey, do you know of any good contractors that can do work for me? I don't know of any at all, and I know that I got to do some vinyl siding. And he recommended a guy. And so if you build your network around the field that you're interested in, all you got to do is pick up the phone, and people are out there to help you, given that you built your network around providing value, because they almost owe you a favor at that point. And so the last thing that I want to talk about that's also extremely important is building your reputation. And so I want you to go take a look at your personal Facebooks and your Twitters and your YouTubes and your Instagrams and see what kind of content you put out into the world, because that is so important. Because the very first thing, it's my job now to know people, who they are, and who I want to work with. The very first thing that people like me do is go ahead and look you up on the internet, and we will see everything that's out there. So I can look out, I see how many kids people have. I see what their political affiliations are. I see what kinds of things they comment on other people's posts. And so you want to be very, very careful about the types of things that you put out on the internet, and go clean your social medias up if that's what you need to do, but also put good content out there. So I put facts and information out relating to my industry, and anybody interested, I can reach out to them and make those connections. Because ultimately, if you're in business, you want to be the person that people call when they have a certain issue. So if you're like the beef jerky lady that had that business pitch, you want to be the lady that people think of. You want to have the reputation as the person to call when you need some beef jerky, or when you need your baked goods done. So you're going to put that out, and the more people that know you for that, the better. So what I want to leave you guys with is, take a look at how you spend your time, what kind of things you do in your life, because the saying is how you spend your days is how you spend your your life, basically. So what do you do on a daily basis? Because that's going to be what your days are going to look like later down the road. What do you do when you're bored? Do you spend your time scrolling on social media? Do you play video games? I mean, that's okay, but when other people are doing bigger, better things down the road, you know, you don't have anything to complain about if that's what you like to do. When you're bored, do you go pick up a book? Do you go listen to an educational podcast? Do you call a friend and talk about business? Those are the types of things you should be thinking about. And then the last thing is, who do you spend the most time with? And who are they going to be 10 years down the road? I spend as much time with as I can with Miss Atkins, because I know that she's someone who I want to be like. So the 5 people you spend your time with is who you're going to be like. So make sure you spend time with people that are quality and that care about you and that are going to be good for you down the road. So thank you so much, guys. That's all I have for you. I also want you to know that I'm here to help if you have anything, any questions or need any help at all. So go ahead and add me on Facebook. That's probably the best way to reach me.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, I was just going to tell you that was brilliant, Nick. And it's just like a proud parent moment. You always want the young people you serve to be better than you. And you guys are better than me. And I love to see it. So thank you. I appreciate you.
I just wanted to say, if you want to go ahead and drop a contact link in the chat that folks can reference, that would be super helpful.
Absolutely.
And I will go ahead and finish us off these last 10 minutes. Again, if you have any questions for Nick, do feel free to drop them in the chat. And I will go ahead and share a last little pitch for library resources. So librarians are really cool people because we know how to find all of the things. Google can be a really awesome resource, but a lot of good information is behind paywalls. So you have to pay a lot of money to get to it. And sometimes libraries are a way to get around that paywall because we pay a lot of money for resources, so you don't have to. And then, of course, we also have fantastic books, or sometimes we know the terms to search for that you wouldn't necessarily think of offhand. So we can be a great resource for you in your business adventures. One of our really cool resources are these business plan handbooks. They're reference books, so right now you can't actually check them out. When we have in-person services, you can just come in and look at them, or we can photocopy or scan them for you for now. So these are actual business plans developed by individuals throughout North America, and they're published into these giant books. So all kinds of businesses. So you have like your standard businesses, and then you have like teen nightclubs and fantasy book and memorabilia shops, and just all kinds of really interesting things. So if you have no idea how to get started, one of the best things is to look at how other people have done the thing you want to do, or have done a thing that's adjacent to the thing you want to do, and kind of borrowing at least their framework and then doing your own research from there. So I would encourage you to reach out to us to get access to those. Of course, we also have all kinds of other fun books. And I have a pile next to me that I can go through here in a minute. We also have a really cool service called Book a Librarian. So it's a one-on-one appointment with a librarian to learn about a specific topic or find resources. All you need is a library card, and you can use the Contact Us page on the website to initiate a request. So our tech trainers are fantastic, and most people don't know they exist, which is very sad. I myself was a tech trainer before I became a teen librarian. So we can help out through the tech trainers. Anything like if you want to get started with an e-commerce site and you have no idea how to get started, they can get you going in the right direction. They can help you create a blog. They can give you tips on podcasting. Pretty much anything related to technology or the web they can handle, or they will learn about it and then teach you the basics so that you can go on your merry way. We do have a really cool in-person resource that is not available at the moment, but we have an AV studio here with professional level audio and video equipment that you can check out if you're 14 years of age or older. If you're younger than that, we just need a parent's permission to get you in there. So that's a fantastic resource when it is available, and I would encourage you to make use of it because a lot of that tech really adds up in cost. So if you can use it for free, you know, by all means. We do have a business librarian named John Cleary, and he is the one who coordinates all of our adult business programming. But you can also reach out to him as a teen And he will help you use our databases if you want to create a mailing list or research business competition. He does a lot of work with local nonprofits and helps them like learn how to find grants and funding in our databases. So he's a fantastic resource as well. And then of course, we can also do general research help. As the teen services librarian, if there is like a particular school or extracurricular project you're working on, and again, you have a general idea of what you want, but you just need help getting to the specific resources that you need, that is what I am for. And then we also have some community resources. You'll see, remember SCORE. So John Cleary also works with them extensively. Actually, SCORE does some of our adult business programming, so they kind of partner with the library and help with that. For example, if you go to our YouTube channel, we've done a recording for this first class for simple steps for starting your business. So I think as we do more of those virtually, we will go ahead and put them on YouTube, but feel free to sign up. A lot of our events, if they're adult events, will say that you need to be 18 or older to sign up, and that is a lie. Generally speaking, you can go ahead and register. So just keep that in mind. The events are open to you. The Small Business Administration also has some videos to kind of get you going on business topics. And then I do want to throw out a quick question. I know we haven't had too much happening in the chat yet, but I do want to know in the chat if there is something that we as a library and community organization can support you with as a teen entrepreneur. We are all ears, and we would love to find out more that we can do to help you, because here at the library, we pretty much love to give people free stuff, free help, free connections. So anything we can do to get you going on your journey, we are happy to provide. And I did have just a quick overview of a one-page business plan activity. The $100 Startup is a book that really just kind of focuses on quick pivots and hustles. But it has the one-page business plan as a resource I've come back to again and again several times that really just asks a couple of questions. It's not as in-depth. It's kind of similar to that vision board model canvas, but it's even more broken down. Really just wants you to know, getting you to define what you're going to sell, who's going to buy it, and what are some challenges that you can overcome. How are you defining success? Which is a great question to ask that I think people don't always stop and think about, is when are you going to be satisfied? Do you just want to earn enough money to meet a particular goal, or is there something bigger that you're trying to accomplish? And then we do have some other upcoming events that I just wanted to let you know about real fast. So we do have a monthly little book club, and if you show up, you get a free book, which I think is a pretty cool deal. We do have a D&D program if you like Dungeons and Dragons, and we are going to do a class on Twitch. So if you're interested in using Twitch at all to promote your business, feel free to hop on in and sign up for that. And I think our tech trainers might work with us a little bit on that one as well. So. All right.
If there's anything in the future that we can connect on or work together with the camp, I would love to collaborate and connect for the young people to come up there to get resources from the library. So this was neat.
Yeah, absolutely. I think unless anyone has any other questions, that is kind of all that we have for you today. Thanks for joining us, and let us know if we can be of any additional assistance for you.
I actually do have a question.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm very excited that we met because I have a research project that I'm working on. I want to learn the history of real estate in Wichita because I think that's important for the future, and I want to learn about the things like the history of, redlining, plain view. Is there somebody that I can talk to help me get pointed in the right direction?
We have an entire local history department, and I feel like they are going to be your best bet.
Gotcha.
So they're also called, it's local history and genealogy, so it can be a little misleading. So Michelle Enke is our librarian over that division. If you use our contact us form and send us an email and just mention local history, they'll direct it her way. But she often fields requests on how to help people find out the history of their like individual homes. So she has a couple good tricks and tips for getting into databases and finding out more. Oh, and Erin has dropped her email as well if you'd like to email her directly.
I have a contact for you too, Nick, that can help you on the business end of it, with the redlining and stuff, that knows history out of this world. So I can help you,
Oh my goodness.
with the
Who do
library.
you have for me?
You know I got somebody, but I'll email you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Very exciting.
Mhm.
I didn't know that we could use the library as such a strong resource, you know.
Yep. We're not always great at marketing. That is our
Yeah,
feeling
right.
as librarians. But when you find us, we're here. We're a great resource.
Right.
Oh, and then this is, if anyone cares, this is what those business plan handbooks look like. They're big old thick things, but I've got some good stuff in them.
I like it. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for the help and Michelle's info.
We appreciate you guys.
No problem. Thanks again for coming and presenting and sharing your knowledge with us today.